Good day, friends. It's your boy Mikey GloveSave coming at you with a Friday afternoon edition of WNBA Picks for that ass with your homie Mikey GloveSave. As you know, we're coming off a very healthy victory last night, profiting almost 4 units, and we are 3-1 this week. Let's see if we could make it 4-1. Now, Mikey GloveSave is pressed for time, so he is going to be talking a little faster than usual, and he is going to fly through these plays the best that he can. Please keep in mind, a lot of price discrepancies tonight, and there were some plays that I actually made just on price alone. So if you are tailing, only take these plays if you can get them at the prices that Mikey GloveSave tells you. Now let's roll. And we're going to start this off with the Indiana-Minnesota game. The first 2 plays here are based on price discrepancy alone. I got Aaliyah Boston over 8.5 rebounds. We have a notable price discrepancy at plus 118 on FanDuel. And then Kelsey Mitchell over 1.5 3-pointers, minus 115 on DraftKings. Remember, only at those prices, friends. Natasha Howard over 7.5 rebounds, plus 116 on FanDuel. Last time versus Minnesota was July 1st. She had 12 with Napheesa Collier in the lineup, who's also a forward like our friend Miss Howard. Tonight, Napheesa Collier is out. On top of that, she already has a 60% hit rate in the last 5 games. She should eat very healthy tonight. Natasha Howard over 7.5 rebounds, plus 116 on FanDuel. Odyssey Sims, guard for the Indiana Fever, over 10.5 points, minus 120 on Fanatics. The only other book to have her at 10.5 is FanDuel at minus 128. All the other books have her at 11.5, and I think that gives us a nice point advantage here because I think she's going to have an evening. Now, Clark, Colson, and McDonald have all been out recently, also guards. And now, Sophie Cunningham, a significant guard, is out too. So, the last game they played, Sophie left in the second quarter. And yes, they went into overtime, but overall, Odyssey Sims did get less than 4 quarters worth of playing time, and she scored 19 points. She's going to have a lot more playing time tonight, and she has a lot more on her shoulders, and I think she's going to step it up and have a very healthy evening. Odyssey Sims over 10.5 points, minus 120 on Fanatics. Moving on to the Seattle versus Dallas game, Gabby Williams over 15.5 points and rebounds, minus 104 on FanDuel. Now, little disclaimer here, Gabby Williams always loves to do the opposite of what I bet her on, so you just might want to fade this one. Anyway, 4 for 4 over the past 2 years, clearing this line versus Dallas by notable margins. Dallas is 12th out of 13 teams in giving up points and rebounds to forwards. Now we have 4 key injuries on Dallas. J.J. Quinley, Enrique Harris, and 6'7" Lee Yuru are all out. So we are likely getting a good price here because of her poor hit rate overall. But this is her spot. Gabby Williams over 15.5 points and rebounds, minus 104 on FanDuel. Nika Ogwumike, I don't know if I'm saying that right, over 17.5 points, minus 115 on DraftKings. We're getting a very notable price discrepancy on this one. And I'm taking her over on her points for the exact same reason that I'm taking Gabby Williams over her points and rebounds. No need to say any more. Okay, you all are really going to dislike this one. Paige Beckers, under 19.5 points, minus 115 on Caesars. We're getting a very nice price discrepancy on this, but regardless, I was looking at her under just as long as it didn't fall into what I call a PPR, which stands for poopy price range. Now, I know everybody's on the Beckers train right now, but just keep in mind that what she did last game is not typical. Yes, it was amazing, but after that, she is likely to get swarmed tonight. Her point prop is usually set at 18.5, but we gained an extra point after that last performance. I like her on the under here. Under 19.5 points. Paige Beckers, minus 115 only on Caesars. Louisa Giselsoder, center for the Seattle Storm. Over 1.5 3-pointers, plus 140 on BetMGM. We are getting a small price advantage here. But even if this was at like plus 130 or plus 120, I would think that that is more than fair. She's a 3-point hitting center. 60% hit rate in the last 5 games. She's cleared this both times versus Seattle this year with Lee Yuru in the lineup, who's also a center. You know who's out of the lineup tonight? Lee Yuru, the center. The 6'7" center, Lee Yuru, is out of the lineup tonight. Seattle has a good defensive rating, preventing 3-pointers against centers, but you know what? Just like Smokey said in Friday, I don't give a. Moving on to our final game of the evening, Pahonix, or as the layperson would call it, Phoenix versus Golden State. Starting this off with Alyssa Thomas, forward for the Phoenix Mercury, Over 15.5 points, plus 100 on BetMGM. There is a small price advantage on this. MGM is the only book to have her at even money. Now, Alyssa's not going to be too happy after last night's beatdown that they took from Vegas. And she was playing like an animal. Now, please keep in mind, Billings, Zandalicini, and Thornton, all forwards are out for Golden State, which I think is going to leave the door open for Alyssa to just dominate and enhance her reign of terror even more tonight. I do like her to have an all-around night, but I do like her points prop at even money, plus 100 on BetMGM. Tiffany Hayes, over 11.5 points, minus 125 on BetMGM. Now, her point prop is usually set at 12.5, but Mikey GloveSave hypothesizes that they took it down to 11.5 on the sports books after that really low-scoring game versus Atlanta, which is an anomaly for her. And also keep in mind that Atlanta is a better defensive team than Pahonix. They are first in preventing points to point guards. Now, Phoenix is 10th out of 13 teams, and I think that their lack of ability to guard guards was pretty evident last night versus Las Vegas. She does have a 60% hit rate in the last 10 games, but just for poopy's sake, let's take out the Atlanta game. And a few days back before that, she had her playing time reduced because they were pounding the snot out of Connecticut. So, of course, she got taken out early. You take those two out, her hit rate goes up very significantly. I think this is kind of a low line for her. Tiffany Hayes over 11.5 points, minus 125, BetMGM. And our final play of the evening, Veronica Burton over 1.5 3-pointers, plus 126 on FanDuel. How is this at plus 126? 2 for 4 clearing this line versus Pahonix so far this year, getting anywhere from 5 to 8 attempts. 60% hit rate in the last 5 games, 70% hit rate in the last 10. Now, not only is Mikey GloveSave expecting her to have an evening, but I think the books are too. This was at plus 132. Now it's down to plus 126. And Mikey GloveSave also wanted her point prop. It was at minus 125, but when Mikey GloveSave went to take it, it's at minus 132. But Daddy likey the 3-pointers, especially at this price. Veronica Burton over 1.5 3-pointers, plus 126 on FanDuel. And that does it for this Friday's edition of Picks for That Ass with your buddy Mikey GloveSave. And you're thinking, Mikey GloveSave, you gave us 31 bets last night on a 4-game slate, and now you're only giving us 10 bets on a 3-game slate? Yes, there are some plays that Mikey GloveSave really likes tonight, but he did not like the price. And that's something we have to keep in mind in this game. It's not just about what we think's going to happen, but just as importantly, probably more importantly, we got to look at the prices. That's the lesson that you're going to learn from Mikey GloveSave today, and that's why I said at the beginning of the video, only take these plays if you can get those prices. Have a great weekend. Mikey GloveSave out.